Let's just imagine. Let's just continue to dream. Let's simply continue to follow the mind for a few moments. And look at the word hope. What is Bubsy's hopes? What is the man that appears in front of you's hopes? In our true consciousness, in our true self, there are no hopes. Everything is revealing itself in the most immaculate way. But consciousness does not associate with death and birth. It only associates with life. Birth and death are concepts and ideas made up from the senses, the visuals, the sounds, the internal dialogue between what is taking place and what we have created through gains and loss, you see. But most are not here to understand the hopes of consciousness. Everyone believes they are this body, this person. So what is the hopes that humans will gain, will create? What can humans create to build a world of what each one of us imagines, aspires to? Well, you have to look at the world and every aspect of the world, whether it's the television screen, whether it's your friend, whether it's a book from the past, whether it's a kind of conspiracy or a theory or an assumption or an imagination or a hope and belief. And you'll see that everyone is different. So the hopes are impossible to create what you imagine as your world. But the hopes are completely possible for you to escape this world. Not move, not in another body, not to be here in another body, not to be here in some other form, not some other state of mind, some other state of consciousness, some other, I'd rather be him or her or whatever. No. Leave that, you see. That's a whole teaching of Vedanta and Upanishads and Zen and Buddhism. No, leave this world, you see. That doesn't mean you pack your suitcases and go away and into another world. That means just leave it be. Leave the projected external world, leave it, don't even associate with it. Don't imagine it to be that what is going to bring you the dreams and the aspirations that you have built within you. Let the world be. That's the surrendering, you see. You're not surrendering to life. You're not surrendering to a death. You're not surrendering to a non-existing entity under the bonsai tree for the rest of your life. You're just simply being free from this external world. Like you are now, like this body is now. This body appears to be in a room, but it's not part of the room. It's free within the room. The room is just creative, constructive thoughts moved into an active building. But the builder is not the room, you see. The builder appears to be the body and the mind that gave it the information and the knowledge and the tools to create the room. But the space within the body and the room is the same space that's outside of the room, the same space that's in New Zealand, the same space that's in Alaska, the same existing space. So how can you be a part of this world? You are apart from the world. That's the first stage of awakening. To be apart from the world, from the books, from the ideas, from the concepts, from the conditioned, programmed mind that built you into this I, me, person, named identity, man, story, thing. Hope. I hope this world can eventually find peace. It's impossible, you see. The mind is a constructed, conditioned, cultural element from each that has learned how to survive in each country in their own ways, and there's an interaction, and it's a mess, but it's a beautiful mess. Because it's breaking down the boundaries, it's breaking down the boundaries of singularity, of division, of communities. It's bringing it into a world of oneness. But these damned rulers, these damned politicians, these damned people that say, yes, you can come in to our country, but you have to obey. Let's not interact, let's not merge. Just follow the rules, the guidelines, the conditions, you see. That's the mind. That's how confused and chaotic it gets. You can come in, but we're so frightened that you take over. We're so frightened that we lose our culture. There is only one culture. There's only the culture of God. Each religion projecting the same God. Each spirituality projecting the same God. Each atheist projecting the same God. Each single human and living form, whether it's a slug, a deer, an elephant, projecting the same God. All uniquely and wrongly thinking that there's differences, that there are conflicting situations. Conflicting situations of imagined ideas, concepts that we're frightened. We're frightened. We're frightened. The Russians are frightened. The Americans are frightened. The British are frightened. The Finland people are frightened. The Australians are frightened. And they're frightened of their minds. Their minds. I don't want to invade this country, but I have to, because they may invade us first. The world of human fear, the world of human destruction, the world of human, individuality. My world is better than your world. Our world is better than their world. And each one of us know that's not true. But we have to live it, because our forefathers died for it. And we have to pay homage to our forefathers who are no longer here. Because we have a belief, another belief system, that they're in heaven, that they're looking down on us, that if we stop fighting with the others, we'll have let them down because they died from the others. All imagined thoughts, all hopes and beliefs and systems and a society and attachments, from the enlightened state of consciousness. Even U.G. Krishnamurti is speaking the same words as Jesus. But our misinterpreted understanding or misdesigned languages that we cannot share equally. You see, we have had dictators who wanted to create this oneness. Let's create everyone with blue eyes and blonde hair. How ridiculous. What is wrong with the beauty of the human flesh body? Each one's body is uniquely, profoundly, mystical, magically, and loving. But we can't see it, you see. We're already one. The earth is one. God gave us boats to see each other and say, wow, look at you, look at me, we're one. No. We want your gold. We want your fruit. We want your hash, your cocaine. We want your medicine. We want your lives. You know, I'm not happy with my life, you see. That's the invasion. Territorial thing is, we're going to invade because we want more. No, we're going to invade because we're not happy with what we've got and they've got something better than us. That's the reversal that the human mind cannot cope with. When someone says you're a bad guy, the mind fights to defend and say, I don't think so. You know? Have you seen these guys? No, I'm not speaking about these guys, speaking to you. So, okay, well, I can tell you about the good things I've done. A very unconventional video before I end, but, you know, it's the idea that the mind can move into situations of words and identities and beliefs that I am a body and I am in this country and I have a culture and I am a man and I know about the other languages and the other countries and I know that they have different things and I know that we should be merging, but we cannot merge because of our conditioned programming stuff. And then something says, all thoughts, all imagined thoughts, all ideas, all beliefs, all hopes, all attachments, all associations, all faith towards the people that have passed that were not even a family member, because a family member means individual people becoming members of a family. The family is first until the mind breaks it up into family members. All one family. The whole world is one family, but we can't see it, you see. We have dictators and warmongers and who live in fear. You know, the most fearful are the kings, the queens, and the governors and the rulers of the country. They live in fear that they cannot just be left alone to live their life. Always frightened and worried about what's going on. And if they're not frightened about other countries invading them, they're frightened about the people that they rule and reign over, rebelling against them. What a world. What a position to be, a hierarchical position in this world, and everyone wants to be it, you know. The celebrity, I want to be the celebrity, and then you become the celebrity, and there's hundreds and thousands of people wanting your money and wanting to be part of you and wanting to protect you and wanting to tell you how to do this and how to do that. And the little old monk that lives on the top of the hill in Everest, playing with ants, you know, enjoying the little foods and, you know, experiencing the body and the surroundings, and wow, and oh, look at this, and in the morning, the suns, the different sunsets, the different, and wow. But they don't even see it as wow. They just live in this pure consciousness. And people like me We have to go into situations to be awakened. We have to find enlightenment. Because we don't want to be the dictator. We know that. We want to be the monk. But we think we have to go through a process, through a practice, methods and all that stuff. And all you have to do is get out of your bed and look out the window and say, wow, look at the sunset. Yes, this is so good. Oh, look at the food I have. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And we have the benefits of vehicles and to encounter different things. But we have to play with the negativity of being the dictator or the ruler and the positivity of being the monk. And we're somewhere in between, you see. And then we believe we're Buddha. And then Buddha is taken away from you. And then Christ is taken away from you. And then enlightenment is taken away from you. And then you're left as a monk, appearing as if you're some sort of contemporary British guy who has beliefs and hopes and associations and attachments. And then you say, no, I'm just a monk. And they say, oh. No, don't be ridiculous. You have to be in Mount Everest to be a monk, you see. You have to be in a monastery. You have to do this, you have to wear this type of clothes, you see. Another way of organizing, structuring, and believing that we are separate. And when you experience emptiness, when you experience self, when you experience that pure consciousness, when you experience that voice of God, change and difference is dissolved into oneness, equality, sameness, into nowness, presence, here-ness. And you realize all that God is always saying is that whatever you believe you are, whatever you hope for, is nonsense. Whatever you truly are is the most sensible reflection of what I am, says God. In the most purest consciousness that I gave life to. Hope. Don't look for hope. Just be yourself. Don't be the dictator, just be yourself. Don't be the monk, just be yourself. Don't be the person. Don't be the soul. Don't be the spirit. Just be yourself. That's the best advice. Who can do it? What can do it? Only I.